All right, hey, welcome back once again, everybody. It's your girl Jasmine. So today I have a challenge video for you guys. Now, I know we're about to change places in our life and cross over to the Jordan in our life, and so usually what happens when we go to new places in our life, we tend to forget where God has just brought us from. So that is part of my challenge, in which I'm gonna talk about soon after. But I'm gonna read some scripture to you guys. In Joshua 4, it says. And it came to pass, when all of the people were clean passed over Jordan, that the Lord spake unto Joshua, saying, Take you 12 men out of the people, out of every tribe a man, and command ye them, saying, Take you hence out of the midst of the Jordan, out of the place where the priest's feet stood firm, 12 stones, and ye shall carry them over with you, and leave them in the lodging place, where ye shall lodge this night. Then Joshua called the 12 men, whom he prepared of the children of Israel, out of every tribe a man. And Joshua said unto them, Pass over before the ark your God in the midst, and take up every man of you a stone upon his shoulder, according to the number of tribes of the children of Israel. That this may be a sign among you, that when your children ask their fathers in time to come, saying, What mean ye by these stones? Then ye shall answer them, that the waters of the Jordan cut off before the ark of the covenant of the Lord, when it passed over Jordan, and the waters of Jordan were cut off, and these stones shall be a memorial unto the children of Israel. And it says in verse 19, And the people came up out of the Jordan on the 10th day of the first month, and encamped in Gilgal at the east border of Jericho. And those 12 stones which they took up the Jordan did Joshua pitch in Gilgal. And he spake unto the children of Israel, saying, When your children shall ask their fathers in time to come, saying, What mean these stones? So here it is, and we are about to cross the Jordan in our life. And I bet there are things that you have in your life in which God has allowed you to come through in this season of your life, in heading towards the Jordan in your life. And for me, where God is taking me in my life, I really do want to hold on to the memories of what it is that God has me do. We all know that God had me leave college. That was a big leap of faith, a big step of faith, to bring me into the new place and where He is about to take me. So I don't want to forget where it is that I came from, because it has been a long journey these last few months, and it has been very interesting. Have had a lot of ups and downs, but I don't want to forget the things in which God has done for me. And when I get older and I have a family, and my family asks me the story of how I got here, I want to be able to, not just be able to tell them, but be able to show them, that, yeah, this is really what it is that God had for me. This is, different things. So for me, I don't know about for you guys, but I like to scrapbook. And so, but what it is, the challenge for you guys is to actually put together something, maybe a box or something, together with the items or a few items that will help you to remember, kind of like the 12 stones. Maybe, I once watched a testimony video online about this family, how they have been fasting and praying together, and outside of their house they have a sign that says 12 stones on it. But for me, I like to scrapbook, so I it's not finished yet. I'm still working on getting the rest of the pieces, in which is going to be on my scrapbooking page. But I wanted to show you guys. So basically the challenge is is to basically put something together that'll allow you to remember all the things that God has brought you through this season, so that you can look back and tell your family, this is a season in my life where God allowed me to get through this and this, and then this is what he did as soon as I crossed my Jordan. These are the miracles. But I don't want to forget where he brought me from during that season of my life, because it was a very important season, because it was a huge leap of faith. So for me, right here, of course, this is 12 stones on it. And right here, I'm going to explain everything. So this is what it looks like so far. And we'll see this. Genesis 12:1. I'm going to explain that right here. It says, now the Lord had said to Abram, get out of your country, from your family, and from your father's house to a land where I will show you. This is very important to me because when I first left college, that was the first lesson in which God had me do, one of my first Bible study lessons. But it was actually telling me that I was about to head to new places. God wanted to take me from where I was to show me where my promised land is. Basically show me here on earth where it is that he wanted to take me, which is going to, one day I know my real true promised land is heaven, but my promised land of where he wants to take me here on earth. So basically, when Abraham had left Ur to go follow God, he ended up in Canaan, which is the promised land. So that is very important to me, because that's one of the scriptures God used to show me where I was going. As you guys know, I left school and I did some traveling. So when God told me to leave college, he told me to go to California, and he told me to wear this if you guys, I used to have like a headband that had a flower on it, and it actually broke, which is perfect because it works just perfectly for me. And this will remind me of my trip right here. My flower, I put it right here, as you guys can see. This will remind me of my trip to California. And then right here is the BA Pass, where I went and I traveled in California, where God had me take a step of faith, kind of like when Abraham went to go sacrifice his son, Isaac. And so I went to California. God wanted just to test me to see if he told me what it is that he was going to promise me, would I be able to would I still serve him in the way that, just because I'm getting the things in which God has had for me, but they were the desires of my heart. Would I rather have the desires of my heart, or would I rather have God? And I passed that test. I wanted to have God. And so God was like, okay, well, there's a ram in your bush. So yeah, there's that BART right there, the BART Pass. So my ram in the bush was a trip to Tennessee. The next day I ended up going to Tennessee. So right here there's 12 of them. But this is actually cut up from this church. It was like a little church pamphlet that I got. I went to this church in Tennessee, and I had met this girl. It's called the Life Church in Tennessee. I had met this girl. I went into the bathroom. It was a Saturday night service. She said, oh, nice hair. I love your hair. And I was like, oh, thank you. And we started talking, and we talked about how she couldn't get into school, and how she was a cheerleader, had good grades, everything, and couldn't get into college. And then she ended up going to church, and God called her to do missionary trips. And I had told her how Christ had just, told me to leave school and travel around. And I said, all you're going to do, I said, basically what I'm doing right now, you're going to end up doing for somebody else. And it really encouraged her, because God had sent me halfway across the country just to talk to her. And she was about to do the same for someone else, travel halfway across the country to go talk to someone. And I just, it was really uplifting, encouraging, especially being young, and she was young as well. So this is another thing right here, because one of the things that God did do was he promised me, I have a boyfriend now, and we're looking to get more deeper into a relationship. And so, one of the things is God gave me a ring that symbolized purity. So basically, um, he had sat down with me and my mother, and we had came together. And my mother had given me this ring, which her mother wore, and she had been with no man except for my grandfather. So it was very important to me because me in my life, if you guys know my testimony, I've had a wild lifestyle being younger, and before I left school and before I started following God, I had made a promise to God, and it's one night it's because I was crying and I was weeping and I was sorrowful, and it was so sad because I used to think that no one could love me outside of God, and then of course, I mean, I had my grandmother, but I never thought, like, I used to watch videos of former prostitutes and them have husbands and stuff like that, and I used to think to myself, okay, how could I function in like that? Like, it wasn't just the prostitution thing at that, but it was just like I don't have a relationship with my parents like I should. I've never had any stable type of relationship. And, how would I ever be able to function into a regular stable relationship? And it be able to, because of course, if you're not used to regular relationships, you just think they're just all going to fail. So in any aspect. And so all I really ever wanted my whole life was a family, just to call my own, I mean, I have my family here, but something that looks like, you know, a mother, a father, I've never had that. So if praying to God, what about that husband and wife relationship and the kids and having, of course, families have their ups and downs, but I've never had a regular family. I've been raised with my grandmother. There was no man, no mother. It was a grandmother. That's still not my mother. That's still not my father. That's still not my father. So it's very important for me, and I think this all together, besides it standing for purity, I think it just stands for like love and marriage, and just having a relationship that will hold and will stand through it all, a covenant type of relationship um, that will stand forever and ever, as long as God is holding um, us together. And so I put that on there. And then, of course, I don't wear it now because actually my necklace broke. And then I put, I had this one, the woman I was staying with in Tennessee, she gave me this. And I actually had it. And the girl I was watching and babysitting came up to me one day. It was before I actually had the necklace. She came up to me one day and she was like, this is gonna be your new necklace. And I was like, I know that's only God speaking through her, and she doesn't even know what she's saying. And so I went out and I bought a chain for it, and it was good because I knew that it was a time of me transitioning from one place to the next. So it was time for me to change, and I had a feeling that God was going to transition my necklace at some point. So I have not finished it yet, but here are my 12 stones, and I just encourage you to, whatever your 12 stones are, and that will remind you of everything that God has done for you over this past season. I just encourage you to put something together to help you remind you, so you can pass it down from generation and generation and tell your kids the story of what it is that God did for you in your life. Or, even people around you. You can tell people around you what it is that God has done for you in your life, to get you to the promised land in which He is bringing you. All right, I love you guys so much, and stay encouraged. God bless.